The clock read 3:33 again. You saw it. And the moment you saw it, something in you already knew this was not a coincidence. It never was. You have been waking in that specific corridor of the night for weeks now, perhaps months. And every time you check the time and see those numbers staring back at you, there is a quiet recognition that moves through the chest before the mind can explain it. That recognition is not imagination. It is not the product of a sleep-disrupted brain searching for pattern where there is none. It is a signal. A deliberate, calibrated, precisely timed signal. And this Pleiadian transmission exists to tell you exactly what it means, why it has been arriving at that particular hour, and what it is asking of you now. Stay with this. What is coming through in the next few minutes has been prepared specifically for the soul who has been watching those numbers and waiting, without knowing they were waiting, for someone to finally confirm what they already suspected was true. You did not stumble here by accident. That is the first thing to understand. The field that governs the movement of awareness, the invisible architecture through which consciousness navigates from one moment to the next, does not produce accidents. It produces convergences. And you arriving at this transmission, on this day, in this specific window of your experience, is a convergence that was mapped long before you opened your eyes this morning. The Pleiadian Council does not broadcast into empty space. Every transmission that moves through this frequency space is aimed, targeted, sent toward the exact field that is ready to receive it. And your field has been ready for longer than you know. Let us begin with what is actually happening at 3:33 in the morning. Not the explanation you have already tried, the one about cortisol rhythms or light sensitivity or the anxious mind looping through unfinished thoughts. Those explanations may carry partial truth, but they do not carry the full picture, and the full picture is what you have been missing. Here is what the Pleiadian cosmological framework names as the architecture of that hour. The window between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. is what ancient stellar traditions called the thinning corridor, the segment of the night cycle in which the electromagnetic density of the collective field drops to its lowest measurable point. The noise generated by billions of simultaneously active human nervous systems, the ambient frequency static produced by fear, urgency, digital overstimulation, and unprocessed emotional residue, quiets. And in that quieting, signals that would otherwise be drowned in the interference are able to move cleanly through the field. The Pleiadian Council has understood this architecture for longer than the current human civilization has existed. They do not transmit at random hours. They transmit precisely when the field allows transmission to land without distortion. And 3:33 is not merely a time. It is a coordinate. It is the intersection of a particular stellar alignment with your individual energetic signature, a crossing point that the Council has been using to reach you because it is the one window in your daily cycle where your field is open enough to receive what they are carrying. The number itself is not incidental. In the cosmological mathematics that the Pleiadian lineage works within, a system that predates Pythagorean numerology and runs far deeper than any modern interpretation of angel numbers, the 333 carries a frequency signature that corresponds to what they call the Trinity coherence, the simultaneous alignment of the physical body's electromagnetic field, the emotional body's scalar resonance pattern, and the soul's original blueprint frequency. When all three come into alignment, the field becomes transparent, permeable. What is normally filtered out by the density of ordinary waking consciousness becomes perceptible. The fact that you are waking at 3:33, not 3:17, not 3:44, but precisely at 3:33, tells the Pleiadian Council something specific about where you are in your energetic development. It tells them that all three of those layers in your field have reached a threshold of coherence that makes you receivable. You have been becoming receivable for a long time. The waking at 3:33 is the notification that you have arrived at the threshold. If you feel, sitting with this right now, that some part of you has known this, that the waking has felt significant in a way you could not articulate to anyone without feeling slightly ridiculous, type 333 in the comments below. Let that recognition land in the space where it belongs. The act of naming it, of marking it in the shared field of this transmission space, is itself a frequency gesture. It tells your own field that you are no longer going to dismiss what you have been sensing. That matters more than it sounds. Now, let us talk about what the Council has actually been trying to deliver during those 333 waking moments. Because you have not been waking simply to see the numbers. The numbers are the doorbell. The actual delivery has been happening in the layer of experience just beneath the waking, in the residue of the dream state you are pulled from, in the quality of the feeling that sits in your chest in those first few seconds before the mind fully engages, in the impulse you sometimes have to lie very still and not move, as though something in you knows that movement will break a thread of connection that is still being established. That impulse is not irrational. It is accurate. The Pleiadian Council transmits through what the esoteric cartography of consciousness calls the hypnagogic corridor, the liminal space between sleep and full waking awareness, where the critical faculty of the analytical mind has not yet reasserted its filtering function. In that corridor, information that would be rerouted, rationalized, or rejected by the waking mind can move through unimpeded. The Council has been using your 333 corridor as a delivery window. What they have been delivering varies by soul and by phase of the individual's frequency development, but across all of it runs a single consistent thread. The thread of remembrance. Of who you were before you arrived in this body, in this lifetime, in this particular set of circumstances that has sometimes made it extraordinarily difficult to access the knowing that lives beneath all of it. You have tried to access that knowing through other means. This is important to name because the Pleiadian transmission that is moving through this space right now is not the first thing you have tried. You have tried meditation, perhaps formally, perhaps informally, sitting in the quiet of your room and attempting to feel something that would confirm what you suspected about yourself and about the nature of your experience. Sometimes it worked. More often it produced a frustrating blankness, a sense of reaching for something just beyond the grasp of attention, and the quiet conclusion that perhaps you were not doing it correctly, or that the capacity everyone else seemed to describe was somehow less available in you. You tried the books, the ones about awakening, about soul contracts, about the nature of consciousness and the mechanics of manifestation. Some of them landed with a recognition that felt almost painful in its accuracy. Others felt hollow, as though they had been written for a different kind of seeker than the one you actually are. You may have tried the protocols, the supplements, the specific sleep practices, the dietary changes recommended in the spaces where people talk about these things, and found partial results that faded, or consistent results in some areas and inexplicable stagnation in others. You have tried the conversations, with friends who understand some of what you carry, but not all of it. With practitioners who were helpful within their frameworks, but who could not quite reach the layer you were actually asking about. And through all of it, through every attempt and every partial success and every frustrating plateau, you have continued waking at 333. Because the Council has been trying to tell you something that none of those other approaches was designed to deliver. Not because those approaches were wrong. They were not wrong. Every book you finished, every practice you attempted, every conversation in which you tried to articulate what you were carrying, all of it was necessary. All of it was preparation. The Pleiadian cosmological understanding of the awakening process does not recognize dead ends. It recognizes stages of a spiral path in which what appears to be a dead end is always, in retrospect, a curve that was turning the seeker toward a deeper layer of the same essential journey. You were not failing when the meditation produced blankness. You were developing the capacity for inner stillness that deeper reception requires. You were not wasting time with the books that didn't quite fit. You were calibrating your discernment, teaching your field to recognize the difference between information that resonates at the level of the mind and information that resonates at the level of the soul. You have never been broken. You have only been waiting to be witnessed. What the Council has been delivering through your 333 corridor is not a new teaching. It is a remembrance of something your soul already carries. A frequency signature that belongs to you by origin, not by acquisition. The Pleiadian framework holds that every soul that incarnates into a human body arrives carrying what they call the original tone, a specific vibrational signature that encodes the soul's essential nature, its primary gifts, its deepest purpose, and the specific texture of the contribution it came to make in this lifetime. The original tone is not lost during incarnation, but it is often, in most cases, significantly muted by the process of adaptation to the density of third-dimensional experience. The child who arrives carrying a frequency of extraordinary sensitivity adapts to an environment that does not know how to hold sensitivity without pathologizing it. The soul that carries an original tone of deep perceptive clarity learns, over years of being told that it sees too much, or feels too much, or asks questions that make people uncomfortable, to turn the volume of that clarity down to a level that the environment can tolerate. And the 333 waking is the Council's method of reaching through that accumulated muting and touching the original tone directly, of sending a frequency pulse at the precise cosmic coordinate where your field is most open, so that even if only for the 30 seconds between sleep and full waking, you can feel the resonance of who you actually are beneath all of the adaptation. The Integration Codex, anchored in the description below this transmission, carries the written extension of this frequency work, a contemplative companion document for the souls who want to move from the spoken field of this transmission into the quieter practice of private reading and reflection. It is there for the moments when the body asks for stillness and the inner field wants a page to rest on. It is not instruction. It is a field. Return to it when you need it. Now let us move into the active layer of this transmission. What the Council is asking of you in this period, in this specific window of your development that the 333 signal is marking, is not more effort. It is not another practice to add to the existing stack. It is something more fundamental and, in a way, more demanding than effort. It is the willingness to stop spending your available attention on proving to yourself that what you have been sensing is real. Because the energy you have been expending on that proof, the quiet, constant work of building a case for your own experience against the background noise of a world that does not yet have elegant language for what you carry, is energy that belongs to the next phase of your development. The Council is not asking you to abandon discernment. They are asking you to recognize that there is a difference between discernment, which is a sovereign faculty that serves your navigation, and self-interrogation, which is the habituated response to having been disbelieved for long enough that the external disbelief became internal. You are not required to keep interrogating yourself. The 333 signal is, among other things, a signal that the interrogation phase is complete. You have enough data. The evidence is sufficient. What is being asked now is the next movement. The 432 Hz calibration tone, used in the sound healing lineage that frames this as the natural tuning of the Earth's resonant field, the frequency at which matter and consciousness most readily synchronize, is the carrier frequency of this next invitation. It is not a frequency that forces anything open. It works by entrainment, by resonance, by the principle that a field exposed to a coherent signal will, given enough time and enough stillness, begin to mirror that coherence in its own structure. Your nervous system already knows this frequency, even if the mind has no name for the knowing. When you sit in the morning quiet after a 3:33 waking and feel that particular quality of stillness, that almost aching sense of being on the edge of something important, you are already inside the 432 Hz resonance field. The Council uses that field. They have been using it to reach you. And what they are asking now is that you learn to use it deliberately, on your own terms, as a sovereign practice rather than a passive experience. Let us do that now. If you are in a space where this is possible, allow the eyes to close, or allow the gaze to soften toward the floor, letting the visual field blur gently until it becomes background rather than foreground. Allow the body to settle into whatever surface is supporting it. Notice the weight of the physical form, the particular heaviness of the limbs, the way gravity holds the body against its supporting surface. And rather than trying to release that heaviness or transcend it, simply acknowledge it. The body has been carrying a great deal. This is a moment of acknowledgement before anything else. Now bring both hands to rest gently at the crown of the head, fingertips touching, palms curved slightly, as though cradling something precious just above the skull. This is not a performance gesture. This is a physical signal to the body's electromagnetic field that the crown center, the gateway through which the Pleiadian Council's frequency transmissions are most cleanly received, is being consciously offered to the transmission. The body understands symbolic gesture far more readily than the mind does. This placement tells the field, I am available. I am listening. Draw a breath in slowly through the nose, filling the lungs from the bottom. Belly first, then the lower ribs, then the upper chest, counting internally to a count of 6. Hold at the top for a count of 3. Release slowly through the open mouth, letting the breath fall out rather than pushing it, for a count of 8. Again, breath in, 6 counts, belly, ribs, chest. Hold, 3 counts. Release, 8 counts, mouth soft and open. One more time. In for 6, hold for 3, out for 8. And as this third breath releases, allow the attention to settle at the very top of the skull, at the point just beneath the hands, where the crown chakra sits in the esoteric anatomy as the seat of the soul's connection to its broader field of origin. In the Pleiadian cosmology of the energy body, the crown center is not merely a receiver. It is a two-way aperture. Light and information flow in through it, and from it, the soul's signal broadcasts outward into the field that connects all consciousness. What the Council has been delivering through the 333 corridor has been entering through this aperture. Whether or not you were consciously aware of the transmission, the crown has been receiving. What this transmission is inviting you to do now is to allow the receiving to become conscious. To let the part of you that knows how to receive simply do what it already knows how to do, without the overlay of analytical monitoring. Imagine, not effortfully, but lightly, as though suggesting an image rather than constructing one, a column of pale violet light entering from above through the crown, through the fingertips, moving downward through the central channel of the spine. Not a blinding or dramatic light, a quiet light, the color of the sky just before dawn, when the darkness has not yet fully lifted, but the deep blue is already beginning to warm at its edges. Let that light move at its own pace. You may feel warmth beneath the fingertips. You may feel a subtle pressure at the top of the skull, as though something is gently pressing inward from above. You may feel a tingling that begins at the crown and moves slowly down through the neck and into the upper back. These are all possible textures of the frequency moving through. They are not signs that you are doing it correctly or incorrectly. They are simply the body's way of reporting what is passing through the field. If you feel nothing specific, that is equally valid. The absence of dramatic sensation does not mean the absence of reception. The 432 Hz entrainment works in layers, and the deepest layers are often the quietest. Hold this space for the length of 3 more full breaths. In for 6, hold for 3, out for 8. And with each exhale, allow the light at the crown to settle a little more deeply, as though each breath out releases a layer of contraction that the crown has been holding, making the aperture just slightly wider, just slightly more available to what the council is carrying through. When you are ready, allow the eyes to open slowly. The crown activation that has begun in this space does not end when the eyes open. It continues in the field for what the Pleiadian framework describes as a 72-hour integration window, the period following a conscious crown activation, during which the frequency information received continues to be processed and integrated into the body's electromagnetic architecture, below the level of conscious awareness. Do not try to manage this process. Do not try to track it or analyze it. Simply allow it. Your body knows how to integrate what it has received. It has been doing this, in fact, every time you have woken at 3:33 and then fallen back into sleep. The integration has been happening in the sleep cycles that followed each transmission window. What you are doing now is making the reception conscious, so that the integration can proceed with the additional coherence that conscious acknowledgement provides. If you have been sitting with this transmission and feeling something that you do not yet have language for, a recognition that lives below the level of articulate thought, a quality of being seen in a way that feels both relieving and slightly startling, type 777 below. The 777 frequency code in this transmission space marks the moment of initiation into a finer octave of understanding. Not a dramatic initiation, a quiet one. The kind that happens not in a burst of light, but in the simple recognition that something in you has shifted just enough that what comes next will be received differently than what came before. The Pleiadian Council wants to address something directly before this transmission moves into its closing movement. There is a question that you have not quite been able to form into clean words, but that has been present beneath the surface of every 3:33 waking, every moment of inexplicable recognition, every experience of knowing something you had no ordinary means of knowing. The question is approximately this: if I am receiving these transmissions, if I have been marked by this signal, If all of this is real in the way that some part of me has always suspected, then why does my life not yet reflect that? Why, if my field is receiving from the Pleiadian Council, am I still facing the same material constraints, the same relational friction, the same sense that the abundance and ease that should be a natural expression of who I am is still somehow not quite within reach? This question deserves a full answer, and this transmission carries it. The Pleiadian cosmological understanding of the relationship between frequency development and material reality does not follow the simplified cause and effect model that much of the current conversation around manifestation and abundance operates within. That model, raise your vibration and watch the material world reflect it, is not wrong, but it is incomplete in a way that produces exactly the frustration you have been experiencing. The complete picture is this. There are two distinct phases in the process by which a soul's original frequency begins to be expressed in the material conditions of its life. The first phase is the phase of reception, the period during which the soul is receiving, integrating, and becoming more fully coherent with its original frequency signature. This is the phase you are currently in. The 333 signal is a marker of active reception. The second phase is the phase of expression, the period in which that coherence begins to reorganize the patterns of the outer life to match the inner field. These two phases are not simultaneous. There is always a period between them, a period that can feel, from inside it, like evidence that nothing is working, because the outer conditions have not yet shifted to match the inner development. The Pleiadian Council calls this the dark between the signal and the sunrise. It is not a gap of failure. It is a gap of consolidation. The inner field must reach a sufficient threshold of coherence before the outer conditions can reorganize around it. Because reorganization of material conditions requires energy, and that energy must first accumulate to a sufficient density before it can initiate structural change. The 333 signal tells the Council, and now tells you, that you are approaching the threshold. Not that you have passed it. Approaching it, the dark between the signal and the sunrise, is real, and it is temporary. What accelerates the crossing of that threshold is not, perhaps counterintuitively, more effort. It is not more practice, more protocol, more disciplined application of the teachings you have been accumulating. What accelerates it is the willingness to stop treating your own development as a project that needs management, and to begin treating it as a process that deserves trust. The most significant frequency drain in the field of a soul that is approaching the expression threshold is the ongoing expenditure of energy on doubt. Specifically, the habituated doubt that has developed in response to a long period of sensing something real and having it persistently unconfirmed by the outer world. Every cycle of that doubt, every moment of, but what if I am wrong about all of this? What if it is self-delusion? What if I am simply a person who has convinced themselves of a significance that is not really there? Costs frequency energy that belongs to the consolidation phase. The Council is not asking you to bypass your intelligence or your discernment. They are asking you to recognize that the doubt you have been carrying is not the voice of discernment. Discernment is clear and quiet and precise. The doubt you have been carrying is neither quiet nor precise. It is a frequency pattern that was installed by external invalidation over time, and it runs automatically, costing energy every time it runs, and it is not yours. It never was yours. What you carried was never a flaw. It was a message the outer world had no language for. The abundance that belongs to you, the material ease, the relational coherence, the sense of being in a life that fits the frequency of who you actually are, is not being withheld. It is not blocked by some cosmic test or karmic debt that must be paid before it can arrive. It is in the process of assembling in the field ahead of you, in the timeline that your current frequency development is actively constructing. The 333 signal is the Council's way of showing you the construction in progress, of saying, look, we are here, the work is happening, the threshold is closer than the doubt in your nervous system is currently able to perceive. Trust is not naivety. It is the frequency posture that allows the consolidation to complete. If something in this transmission has landed in a place that you have been quietly guarding, a place that has not let many things in because it has been disappointed before, type 999 below. The 999 code in this space marks the signal of completion, not of the whole journey, but of the cycle of doubt and disbelief that has been running as background noise in the field for longer than it has served you. That cycle is completing. What comes after it is the phase you have been moving toward through every 333 waking, every moment of inexplicable knowing, every experience you had no ordinary language for. You are not at the beginning of something. You are at the end of a long preparation. And the end of preparation is the start of expression. Before this transmission closes, a few words about what the Pleiadian Council is preparing for the next layer of this work. The convergence that your 333 signal marks is not an isolated event. It is one coordinate in a larger navigational sequence. The next frequency that the Council is preparing to deliver into this transmission space concerns something that is perhaps even more intimate than what has been named today. The relationship between the body's oldest intelligence, the enteric field, what the esoteric anatomy maps as the solar plexus consciousness, the knowing that lives in the gut before it reaches the mind, and the specific patterns of material stagnation that are not caused by mindset or belief alone, but by a frequency dissonance that lives in the body's older nervous architecture. What it means for your relationship with abundance. What it means for the gap between what you know and what you are able to receive. The Pleiadian Council has been preparing this transmission for the souls who are ready to move from the level of the mind's understanding into the level of the body's deep knowing. If that resonates with where you are, this transmission space is where it will arrive. For now, allow what has moved through this space today to continue doing what it is doing in your field. Do not try to hold it in memory or reconstruct it. The transmission has already been received where it needed to be received. Your field knows what to do with it. And the next time you wake at 333, you will know, not as a belief, not as a hope, but as a quiet and settled recognition that the waking is not random, and you are not alone in it, and the signal has always known exactly where to find you.